It's that time again. It's data crunching time of the metaphors. The camera is swaying. The triangles in the back. First thing I thought was triangle of sadness. Let's try to stop the swaying. It's a movie, Triangle of Sadness. So some of you may be feeling sad right now. This is tying back to the escape room if you're feeling like you're in an escape room or a waiting room. I have to take my time with this because it's a lot of images and metaphors that there's no beginning or end. It's like all together, which is like how dreams are. It's like the dream happens, but then when you wake up, you don't know which came first or after. So this wave, this collective wave, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If something drags you down, leave it. It's not for you. The whole purpose of this is to help your speed along your subconscious data processing of what's going on in the collective. There are collective waves. Either you're on it or you're not. But you're probably aware of it, whether you're on it or not, because if you're seeing this somewhere, the frequencies are in there, if it popped up in your algorithm. Please do hit like, share, subscribe if you like what I'm doing. I have a common thread with all my videos that the algorithm doesn't seem to see. I go with flow, but because it doesn't look the same with each video, the algorithm has no clue what I'm doing because I don't operate in the matrix. I'm in this world, but not of it. So this one's brought to you by the names, the frequency line of the name. Okay, Veronica doesn't mean your name has to be Veronica. Veronica is a true image, victory bringer. Okay, Isaac, he who laughs. Shagan, which is omens, auspicious omens, that those omens with timing, what we're talking about now. And what was the other name? Seth, the appointed. Okay. It's showing me to talk about the dogs first. Oh my God, there's so much to talk about. So if you can see someone being led by a golden retriever, you just notice a golden retriever and there's no walking stick. The person is obviously not blind, but the golden retriever has a service dog jacket on. You drop a bit of green pepper from your sandwich. The golden retriever sees it. This is probably not like a true service dog. I don't know, because it kind of wanted to go get it, but it's trained enough to like, nope, I'm working right now. I can't go get that wonderful thing that I live for that will nourish me. Like dogs live for tasting different bits of food. The golden retriever, nope, it's working. It's in service. It's a service dog. And the next little dog that comes along is a miniature long-haired dachshund, which goes and rights away, eats that little green pepper. That little long-haired dachshund looked exactly like the channel Alchemy in You, another metaphor. Here, alchemy is going to happen in you today. And that dog's name is Isaac, he who laughs. And yeah, that dog laughed. He got the bit of food that fell because he's not working, leading a so-called blind person who isn't blind. Do you see all the metaphors here? Okay, so all of this takes place where most of these downloads started coming in. I'm sitting right next to a giant statue of a sperm made of some metal, probably bronze. Like giant. Huge. Like, I don't know, 10 to 20 foot tall. Big sperm statue. So statue. The sperm is not going anywhere. That male force. It's casted in bronze or some other metal. It's stationed on the corner of Notre Dame and so that means Our Lady and Richmond. So Our Lady and rich, the rich mountain, the rich world. And the building that the sperm is in front of is the most mysterious building, because they only have like an art exhibition once in a while there. And it's an old post office. I think it could be a Freemason building, because it's just very mysterious. There's just like no windows except on top, and who owns it to be able to have these odd art exhibitions every now and then where it's invite only. You know, it's mystery building. My guide said to check the address, 1700. So 17, that's a star card. Now, as I'm watching the dog thing play out and getting all the metaphors, of course, there's grinder, butcher right next door with all the super high quality meat cuts and meat in the window. And you see the older gentlemen with their sports jackets and blazers going, and look at the meat and going in. Like, that is, it's not going anywhere. You know, symbolic of that, the giant sperm statue. There's fertility is like always around. Okay, and this is May Miracle Month, number 555. Number 5 is 5th of the month. And also 666 has been coming up. This dreaded 666 is, in angel numbers, just means it's not as bad as it seems. Now, May is Miracle Month. At the end of the month or within a week, expect a miracle. Might be a baby or something along those lines, a birth of something that you've been waiting for while you felt like you're in this escape room or waiting room. You're going to notice if you were in an escape room or the waiting room, it's a matter of repentance. You have to, you know, if you're looking so much one way, you have to just, repentance doesn't mean shame or guilt. It means do a 180, look in the other direction, get a change of perspective. So the people feeling like they're in a waiting room, whatever you're waiting for, try to be that person. Like if you're waiting for a man, develop your animus inside, your inner masculine. That's really what you're waiting for. And then everything, when you have your inner masculine, you're going to have your man on the outside. It's going to reflect. And same with guys. You're waiting for a woman looking externally. Develop your anima, your internal feminine. And I'm not saying gender dysphoria, but not at all. This is the yin yang. We naturally have the dot of the opposite inside of us. And for people that have an underdeveloped anima or animus, what's happening that I'm seeing is the illusions are fierce. So it's precisely the lack of having a functioning anima or functioning animus, by way that if it's not functioning, it's sabotaging you. You're living in illusion based on that. Like that is the root or the crux. I don't usually use the word crux, but it's definitely the root. What's the crux? Crux, meaning is crux coming to me right now. Crux. It's the decisive or most important point at issue. Yeah, it is. Okay, so there's a lot. It's the crux, and the root of it is, so I hope to make a tidal wave here of inspiration for people to examine their own anima and animus, and sniper wolf the illusions that are going around, because if we want to end the suffering, and this is my goal here, I'm targeted at the suffering. I'm targeted at the illusions. A lot of people won't get me because I'm not operating in the duality. I'm not operating in the matrix. I'm rising above it. There's no blame. There's no good or bad. It's like I'm just busting illusions and keeping what is true. I seek to inspire you to do the same. So what's going on a lot is, like, there's such a difference between guys and girls. Like for guys, the honeymoon period for them, I just found out the honeymoon period for a lot of guys, not all guys, is when you're first starting to date. Now that's an illusion right there. Men love to live in illusion and fantasy. That's not going anywhere. That's like the statue of the sperm. They love that. They love looking at this. The imaginary woman whose back is turned to you. This is a pure example of an illusion. Because her back is turned, you can't see her face, you don't know what she really feels like. You don't know what she's thinking, feeling, none of it. You just see woman, you see curves, you see softness, you see flowers, and the man's mind starts to run in illusion. And the reason why is because he doesn't have a well-developed anima inside. And the well-developed anima inside, the internal feminine inside of a man, will help him be in touch with his intuition, what reality really is, what he's really feeling, what she may be really feeling, and most importantly, what he is feeling. Because until a man has developed his anima strongly and supportively, truth right there, he is going to be living in a fantasy illusion land. Just imagining, it's a honeymoon time for the girl too. When no, it's called a honeymoon after the wedding for a reason. That's the honeymoon point, because it's when things were made real. At least this was from back in the days where people valued reality over fantasy and fiction. So for men who are used to living the honeymoon phase at the beginning when you first date, this is obviously after marriage, it all goes downhill because they started off on their high, right? Like that's the greatest. But they need to wake up now because the divine feminine is waking up. They're not going to have any choice. And that all goes back to that image of the divine feminine waking up to see that she was effed by Saturn. So I'm pointing the finger, again, not at Saturn. I'm not blaming a planet for this. I'm blaming an aspect of Saturn, which is the version of Saturn who eats his children. That's the narcissism. I'm not the only one who has seen this image. The man who painted Saturn eating his children must have had the same visual I did, except he saw them eating the children and I saw him effing his child. And he wakes up with those same eyes when the child wakes up and looks him in the eye. So Sniper Wolf Eye, the illusion, not the person, not the planet, not the this, not the that. Like, enough with the labels. There's truth and there's illusion. The illusion is what's keeping everybody in these Saturnian loops that go round and round and round and round. What came up, what I was made really strongly aware of, is there's like a big dark force, like black dark force. That is, maybe this is the miracle. This is on its way out. This black force is like the egregore of everybody's, what was stuck on the family tree, making people afraid to speak their truth. That's all it is. And so if you feel anything like that coming up and it's cloudy and you don't know what it is, just know it's on a larger level. This is like, could be so old in your family. Like, you're not meant to know the details. It's coming up to be cleared. It's scary stuff. It's like, in the past, you could not speak your truth without really, the consequences would be death, rape, murder, like that. Like, it was real consequences just for speaking your truth. And so that imprint stuck on family lines, that huge dark force is being lifted now to be cleared. Because we're seeing it for what it is. It's like, why aren't we speaking our truth? There's no real reason except for this feeling of fear, right? And this is where the illusion busting backbone comes in. So when you're in fear of speaking your truth, especially if you're unconscious of that, my particular honed in gift at this point in time especially, is the first thing I will see in anybody is their repressed emotions. What are they repressing? What do they not want to feel? And I'll have to say most people are walking around with some repressed emotion, something or other. You have to be at a pretty high level of having done the work, the shadow work, the healing work, to be aware enough to know what you're feeling. And this, I think, is going to speed up on the collective level over this generation more and more. It's just going to be faster, where people are going to be more in touch with how they're actually feeling, because this dark force that keeps people from speaking their truth is getting extracted. One family at a time, but all at once in a wave kind of thing. And because it doesn't take every single family member to do the work. There's like usually one really hard worker called the cycle breaker in the family, where once it's broken, the whole family is no longer under that trance. Now, the older members who are no longer bearing children, you may see no visible change in them, but their soul did get the message. And the most important thing is it's not going to be passed down to the children. When it comes to speaking your truth, see yourself as like, if you're not speaking your truth, you're wearing a clown face. You know, maybe you're drinking with the big red nose of a clown. It's just always smiling, wanting everybody to laugh. Everything is okay. You're not a clown. Be Isaac, he who laughs for real, because you got the nourishment, you got the food, you got what you wanted. The only thing standing between you and what you really want is fear. So like wherever you're afraid, you want to go right into that fear. Do it. Don't be afraid of how you're going to be received. There's all kinds of energy coming up now. Whew. That's why it's so tough. Like the littlest thing, when it's done with your lover or parent, someone where your whole world is built around them, you feel like your survival may depend on them. It's blown out of proportion in the nervous system, because in the old days, if you were kicked out of the tribe, it meant certain death. It did. Like you couldn't survive on your own. So we have attached this people-pleasing thing to the fear of death. Like, I have to please them, otherwise I might die. So you have to see that for what it is, accept that illusion is there, so it alchemizes, and you no longer have that illusion. You know you're not going to die. And start practicing in your head or in front of the mirror, saying things without any repressed emotions, because this is where, you know, you probably had bad experiences in the past trying to say how you really felt, because you had repressed emotions there. So when you're serving someone a plate of, say, different items of nourishment, where you're saying, this doesn't nourish me, this does nourish me, you want to explain to someone about all these different foods that you were served and what you like and what you don't. If you're serving them all this on a plate to discuss, and the plate has a bit of crusty old vomit on it, even just a speck of crusty old vomit in the corner of the plate, that person is not going to hear what you're saying, not going to be able to look at the food you're pointing at. They're just going to see that crusty bit of old vomit on the plate. And that's what the repressed emotion is. That's what speaks so loudly to me. It like yells in my face. I'm just going to feel the repressed thing in the person. And if that happens to me, because my antenna is tuned to that, the fact is you all feel it. You're just doing it at a subconscious level. You're not conscious of what you're feeling. And that's why people react the way they do, because they're feeling something they're not conscious of. And this is why you're not received the way that you would like to be received when you're speaking your truth. It's because you have a repressed bit of old emotion. That's similar, like having crusty vomit on the plate of the thing that you want to discuss. So you really have to Be clear with how you feel. You have to get rid of the repressed anger that has nothing to do with the person that you're discussing the plate about, because that's old. Like, the repressed thing is really old. You have to deal with that separately, get that off the plate, take a clean plate. And then with a clean plate, you make it about your emotions. Again, it's not about the other person. Practice expressing your emotions in a way where you're not blaming anybody. It's like, if you have anger and you're yelling at the person, when I was younger, I would just right away feel that anger, reflect it, yell back, and get angry. As I got older, clearing more and more of my body, I realized I'm not even reflecting that. It's just, it feels like every cell in my body is at risk of dying. And it's going to be like that for any woman because it's in our DNA. It happened so much in the past where if a man gets angry, next thing you know, your neck could be snapped. There's going to be violence. You could die, because anger is a weapon. So you never want to direct your anger at anybody. And then some people go too far with that and they never feel any anger at all. And that's even creepier because where did it all go? It's all bottled up somewhere, So you have to practice, go outside and release the tension.